Hey everyone, Tony Ivanov here, lead trader and mentor of TradeBuddy. Today was a pretty nice day, even though the market was very choppy. The market's been choppy for the past few days because of the trade war fears, because Trump imposed tariffs on the EU, Mexico, and Canada. So the markets were really panicking about that, and also because of the political turmoil in Italy. So the markets are all really pulling back, overall markets, and we've really been seeing a shift in momentum from just really huge morning spikes and all day runs into just very choppy breakouts, choppy dips, and just overall choppiness. But even through that choppiness, I was able to profit $712.29 today, trading around 5 stocks. So mainly the goal with trading today was not to have one large winner, but to have many small winners. And I guess that's one benefit of having a margin account, which I know most people do not have. But don't forget that I did start where you were as well. I started out with $3,200, and I grew from, a cash account, taking one trade per day. And, because I grew and because I took the time to invest in myself and invest in my knowledge, I'm now able to take multiple trades using margin account, and I'm able to make $700 per day. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did it. But first, I want to let you all know that I am offering 20% off of my TradeBuddy chat rooms. So that's the silver chat room, which is just the chat room by itself, you can get for as low as $15. And the platinum chat room, where you can watch me trade live every morning and you get the chat room as well, you can get that for as low as $31. Not to mention that my lifetime mentorship program, you can get that right now for a lifetime payment of around $450, and you get lifetime access to my penny stock mastery course and the platinum package, which is lifetime access to the live stream and the chat room. So it's very, very, very awesome value. Check out the link down below if you have any questions. Here are some very satisfied students. Here's Douglas, made $1,432 in 32 minutes. And here's Gabriella making $850 in just one trade on DOLV. So very, very awesome value. Invest in yourself, and you will greatly appreciate it in the future. I've been trading for around 3 years, and now I'm able to make roughly $1,000 per day. So I highly recommend you check that out, and hope you guys enjoy this video. Alright everyone, so here's the market recap for today. The day is May 31st, 2018. You can see here's my Thinkorswim account, and I made $712.29 today trading AKER, KTOV, TVIX, VKTX, and VTVT. So all of them were winners except for VTVT, which is, I would say, pretty awesome. I was right on almost every single trade. And you can see the one loser I did have was only $41, and my average winner was in the 200s. So very awesome day, very good accuracy, and I'm glad that I was able to just stay disciplined and lock in my profits. That was the most important thing of today, because we knew that the market was very choppy today. I was telling my traders in my chat room just to we have to focus on small winners. Right now is not the time to be very aggressive. Now is the time just to take those small profits and be happy with 10, 20, 30%, or I'm sorry, 10, 20, and 30 cent per share gains, because those can be very good gains. If you're trading with 1,000 shares, making 30 cents per share, that's $300. So that's a very awesome trade. So we're gonna go over some of the trades I did. I believe the first trade I did was on VKTX. So VKTX was a very strong runner today. VKTX was in sympathy of MDGL. MDGL is a higher priced stock that had the positive phase 2 trial results of their drug, and VKTX is developing the very similar type of drug. So let me just bring up MDGL. You can see MDGL had a massive spike today from the low 125 range, and spiked up to 266. So that news was very good for MDGL, and you can really just expect that, okay, if VKTX is producing the same drug, then it's going to get the same type of hype, and that's exactly what happened. So here are the levels of support and resistance that I've mapped out by looking at the daily chart. So we have price here at 638, 736, 797, 846, 890, 936, 964, and 1037. So we'll just go look at the daily chart right now and see exactly where those prices line up. So you can see the 638 price doesn't really line up anywhere on the chart. I believe that was more of intraday support. But you can see 736 was a clear top from February 22nd. And then if you zoom back a bit more, 797 didn't look like any daily support. 850 was just a round mental number. You know, I told you guys this before. The whole dollars, half dollars, and 25-cent ranges, or the prices, will give you levels of support and resistance, because people like to type their trades into, you know, 850 instead of typing 849 or 847, some random number like that. Humans are known to, you know, really just rather use nice round even numbers. That's just how psychology works. And then you can see the all-time high of VKTX, which I'm surprised it's not showing now, but when I was looking at this in after hours, there was one day here on May 12th where the high was 1037. So that's why I moved it up to there, but apparently the high is at 1023. And by high, I mean all-time high. So this stock IPO'd in April 29th of 2015. So the highest it's been since it's IPO'd was 1023. I'm sure it was 1037 because now that's where the resistance is. And I promise you guys, there was a candle that was right here, like right here. This went up to like 1037. I remember seeing it on the on that chart. But anyways, E-Trade is kind of wonky sometimes with their charts, so that's fine. So those are the levels of support and resistance. Now that that's mapped out, let's just look at the intraday price action. You can see we had a very nice dip down to this previous level of resistance. So you can see in pre-market we had this kind of hold up area right here at 637. Once it broke through that, it spiked up all the way up to, like, say 720. So that was a previous level of resistance that is now tested that support. So the morning dip buy right there down to 639 would have been the prime time play right there. But of course, I did not see this level of resistance during the morning. It's kind of one of those things where if you're not really paying too much attention, hindsight can be 20/20. I wasn't really planning on playing VKTX because frankly I didn't know what the catalyst was in the morning. It didn't have any news by itself, but it was sympathy news from MDGL, and I found that out later in the afternoon. So once this dip happened, I didn't care to look back at the previous levels of resistance, so I missed out on that dip, but that's fine. You can see it spiked up, it broke out over 720 right there, and then squeezed on higher. And then remember, the high right here on this spike was 736. So the breakout over 736 was a clear buy signal, and I believe I took one trade right there when I went long. I believe 1,000 shares, but I took my profits pretty fast on this one because you know, I didn't know what the catalyst was, and I got a pretty bad entry on it. So then, of course, we can talk about VKTX all day long. Just look at the levels of support and resistance, and just mainly the best way to play right now is to base your buys around dip buys. I've gone over this many times in the past few weeks. So if you're an avid watcher of my channel, you should be very used to this type of playing where you look for the previous levels of resistance that are now support, and you buy against that resistance using, like, say, a 5-10 cent stop, and then taking profits at the high of day. So here your risk was, say, 10 cents per share. So if it drops down to 6.29, you would cut the loss. But if it goes up to 7.21, then you're making almost $1 per share profit. So you're risking 10 cents, you're making 90 cents. That's a very good trade, and I would take that any time of the day. And you can see that kind of happened all throughout on VKTX. Now, the one time I did play VKTX was on this dip during after hours. So I usually don't play after hours, but you know, here in this instance, it was just a no-brainer. just because of how it dipped down to this previous level of support that happened here. Let me just get my rectangle tool. So you can see it dipped right there, and also right here it was acting as resistance. So it was acting as resistance first. Okay, sorry. It was acting as resistance first. It spiked up all the way up to 1020, pulled back. It confirmed that previous resistance as new support. It bounced up from there and then hit all-time highs, pulled back once again, and tested level once again. So seeing it test that level after a massive panic sell-off like that, it was kind of a no-brainer to take the risk and try this trade. So I bought 500 shares here, and I flipped those shares, and I sold those at 1026. So on that trade alone, I made around $200. While I was trading VKTX in the afternoon, I was playing some dip buys, and they failed, so I cut my losses. So I believe in the afternoon I was down on VKTX like $180, and then I ended up being up $60 on VKTX. So I turned around that loss and made those losses back. Some other stocks that I was trading was AKER. AKER, same thing. You just look at the previous levels of resistance. So looking at the daily chart here, you can see this dip on May 14th, 2018. The dip stopped right at 41 cents. And you can see that this red candle right here on yesterday, the high of day was 41 cents. So it's kind of a no-brainer going into today that you would buy the dip down to 41 cents. So I bought 20,000 shares on this dip, and I sold those shares into the spike right here into the 44-cent range. So made nearly 10% I made nearly 10% on that trade. I think around 7%, and on AKER I was up 291. KTOV was kind of a different play. This one had FDA approval news, so this one was halted pretty much all day, and then the news was released and it got unhalted. It spiked, well, squeezed from 242 or 229 up to a high of 381, and I played this one very fast. I mean, I'm telling you, very fast. I bought the breakout over 345 because that was a resistance level on the daily chart. Let me just show you guys that right now. I'll delete it, highlight it in yellow so it's easier to see once we switch over, just to save some time. But at 345, you can see the top was right here on October 12th, 2017. So buying the breakout over that price was a no-brainer on the stock that just got unhalted with news. I only bought 1,000 shares because it was a bit of a riskier play. It was up a ton after this halt, but I just wanted to capitalize on the momentum. So I got executed at like 350, and I sold very fast at 375. It was like a 20-second trade, and on that one I made $203. So not going to complain about that whatsoever. And then I traded TVIX. So TVIX, if you're not familiar with it, it's the inverse of the SPY. So like I was saying earlier, the overall market is having fears of trade wars, and also the fears of the instability in the European Union. So we've been seeing a pretty rapid sell-off on SPY. So just looking at SPY real fast, I went long on TVIX when SPY broke this support right here at 271. So right here at just around 2 p.m. I went long on TVIX because, like I said, TVIX is the inverse of SPY. So whenever SPY falls, TVIX spikes. So I bought right here at just around $5.55. I believe I bought 3,000 shares, and I was taking profits up along the way just because I've been kind of cautious trading TVIX because it can really burn you sometimes. So on this one, I was being more cautious and I just wanted to take my profits. So I was taking profits up along the way. I believe like I took 1,000 off at like 560, then 569, and then like 575. So just taking profits up, or not 575. I'm sorry. I went long 555. Here, let me see. My orders real fast. I went long 555. I sold 562, and then the rest 563. So I missed out on the whole move, but that's just fine because on that one I made $222. So all of those small trades add up to a net profit of, like I said, $712 on the day. And that's very awesome. So I'm going to do the same exact thing tomorrow. Not look for big winners per se, but just look for those nice, small, consistent 10, 20, 30 cent per share wins, because granted that I have a margin account, I can take those trades over and over and over again. So it's very worthwhile to me. So that's the video lesson for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and leave a subscription. Make sure you hit the bell on the side as well to be notified whenever I make a new video. Make sure to follow me on social media. I am on Instagram at Tony Ivanov, Twitter at Tony Ivanov. You can add me on Facebook, do all that nice stuff. Don't forget, I do have a free Facebook group. It's called the Day Traders, or the Trade Buddy Community, where we have over almost 5,000 members who are all in there giving their tips and tricks and alerts of the best stocks and the best tips and tricks of trading. So I am also in there every single morning, and I post my watch list there. So if you want access to my watch list, be sure you join the group. All I ask is that you answer 2 simple questions, just so I can be sure that you're not a bot. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.